Avant-garde artist Salvador Dali is synonymous with the Surrealist movement. Created in 1931 and standing at 9.5 inches by 13 inches, The Persistence of Memory was a pivotal moment in Dali's career as well as the Surrealist movement, which sought to challenge conventional wisdom and explore the subconscious. The rise of psychological theories, especially Freud's ideas about dreams, influenced Dali's explorations of time and memory. Visually speaking, the composition of The Persistence of Memory is stark and dreamlike, splitting the canvas into three distinct areas: the foreground, middle ground, and background. The use of unwieldy, melting clocks draped across a barren landscape introduces a surreal quality, challenging our perception of time. Dali employs a soft palette dominated by earthy tones and cool blues, using light to create a serene yet uncanny atmosphere. The brushwork is meticulous, emphasizing texture, particularly in the depictions of the clocks and the organic forms surrounding them, which enhance the eerie reality of this dreamscape. Dali's painting makes viewers question not only time in the general sense, but also the time each viewer has in their own life, and even the time humanity has on planet Earth, because of the time planet Earth has based on the laws of physics. The persistence of memory makes the viewer question what is left behind when human beings are no longer a part of the reality on Earth. When creatures, such as insects, who have better survival capabilities, are left behind to wait until ultimately everything comes to an end. Dali presents the case for time as a persisting element regardless of anything else. Memories may fade and may even be embedded within time. However, if nothing exists to recall those memories, only time remains to keep moving on. Time can also be subjective and can become distorted when experienced in a way that is different from reality. The various melting clocks in The Persistence of Memory each depict their own subjective and distorted time space, where reality is based on how time is perceived within that space. Each clock shows a different time, as if to say that although subjectively the telling of time may matter, objective time's registration doesn't matter. The surrealism in Dali's painting brings to question how time changes for human beings versus other beings, and how important time is in the physical world, and how it may not be important in the non-physical world. Dali questions the power of time and what governs time. The fact that the clocks are melting and stopwatch is covered by insects shows the need to control time and its own elusive and fragile nature. The insects in the painting, the eroding landscape, and the barren tree represent what is left over when temperatures rise and the earth is left in destitution. Perhaps each of the melting clocks is a portal to a time or memory. They may represent people who are no longer physically present but are still living in time through memories. The melting clocks keep ticking on as the memories resist the effect of the natural world, which is to fade away no matter how special or important the memories are for the memory keeper. Dali may have painted the time capsules in The Persistence of Memory as elusive and fragile perhaps, because of our own elusiveness and fragility as human beings with limited time. When looking closer at the painting, the white object in the center seems almost ghost-like. Perhaps this is a mention of time as it is constructed in spaces that are still not understood, such as the afterlife. In the afterlife, time is usually proposed to be different than reality. The quest to understand the afterlife has puzzled humanity for eons. What happens after we die? How does that affect life on Earth? How does our time on Earth impact our time later on? Does time change in the afterlife? Is there an afterlife at all? The Persistence of Memory brings forth such questions because of its surrealistic qualities that not only presents reality in a different way, but questions reality itself. The Persistence of Memory brings forth questions about the surrealism embedded within reality. Time can change based on personal experience. The subjectivity of time begs the question of how each of us perceives time in our own individual lives and how time affects each of us differently. Time can present illusions, such as the white, ghost-like object in the painting. Time can pass by quickly, and time can pass by slowly even though time is the same for all of us. Time exists in the past, present, and future. We may not know what moments will happen in our future, but we know only time will tell. Salvador Dali's painting allows the viewer to broaden their perspective about an important part of existence. Time challenges our understanding of ourselves and our world, and Dali helps us understand its nuances with the persistence of memory. This was Art Explained in 5 minutes. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe, and remember to follow at Thinking Artist. See you in the next one.